World War II, a global conflict of unprecedented scale and devastation, engulfed the world from 1939 to 1945. It was a war that pitted nations against each other in a struggle for dominance, ideology, and survival. From the beaches of Normandy to the jungles of the Pacific, millions fought and died in a conflict that would forever shape the course of human history. This war, with its roots in the ashes of a previous global conflict, left an indelible mark on the world, shaping the geopolitical landscape and leaving behind a legacy of both triumph and tragedy. The sheer magnitude of World War II is staggering. Over 30 countries were drawn into the conflict, with millions of soldiers and civilians alike caught in the crossfire. The war saw some of the most brutal fighting in human history, with entire cities reduced to rubble and countless lives lost. The development and use of atomic bombs marked a terrifying new chapter in warfare, leaving a chilling reminder of the destructive power humans now possessed. Beyond the battlefield, World War II had a profound impact on societies around the world. It led to mass displacement, economic hardship, and social upheaval. The Holocaust, the systematic genocide of Jews and other minority groups by Nazi Germany, stands as a stark reminder of the horrors that can unfold when hatred and intolerance are allowed to fester. The war also witnessed remarkable acts of courage, resilience, and sacrifice, as individuals and nations united to combat tyranny and oppression. The legacy of World War II continues to shape the world we live in today. It led to the formation of the United Nations, a global organization dedicated to maintaining international peace and security. The war also ushered in a new era of international relations, marked by the Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The lessons learned from World War II, particularly the importance of international cooperation, diplomacy, and human rights, remain as relevant as ever. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ended World War I, but sowed the seeds of resentment and instability that would contribute to the outbreak of World War II. The treaty, largely dictated by the victorious Allied powers, aimed to punish Germany for its role in the war and prevent future aggression. However, the harsh terms imposed on Germany, including massive territorial losses, crippling reparations payments, and severe limitations on its military, created a climate of bitterness and humiliation that fueled extremist ideologies and destabilized the fragile peace. Germany, once a major European power, was forced to accept full responsibility for the war and its consequences. The treaty stripped Germany of valuable territory, including Alsace-Lorraine, the Saarland, and parts of Prussia. These territorial losses not only diminished Germany's size and economic potential, but also created resentment among the German population, who felt unjustly punished. The treaty's stipulations regarding Germany's military further fueled this resentment. Germany's army was limited to a small, defensive force, and it was prohibited from possessing certain types of weapons, including tanks and airplanes. These restrictions were seen as a humiliating blow to German pride and a threat to its national security. The most contentious aspect of the Treaty of Versailles was the issue of reparations. Germany was held financially responsible for the immense costs of the war and was ordered to pay billions of dollars in reparations to the Allied powers. These crippling payments placed a severe strain on the German economy, contributing to hyperinflation and economic hardship. Many Germans viewed the reparations as unfair and exploitative, further fueling resentment towards the treaty and the Allied powers. The Treaty of Versailles, while intended to prevent future wars, ultimately created conditions that made another global conflict more likely. The treaty's harsh terms fostered a sense of grievance and humiliation in Germany, creating fertile ground for extremist ideologies like Nazism to take root. The economic instability and political turmoil that followed the treaty's implementation further weakened Germany and destabilized the international order. The stage was set for the rise of a new generation of leaders who would exploit this instability and lead the world into another devastating war. The Great Depression, a global economic crisis that began in 1929, had a profound impact on international politics and contributed significantly to the outbreak of World War II. The Depression, characterized by widespread unemployment, economic hardship, and social unrest, created an environment of desperation and instability that allowed extremist ideologies to flourish. In Germany, Italy, and Japan, the Depression's effects were particularly severe, fueling nationalist sentiment, undermining democratic institutions, and paving the way for the rise of authoritarian regimes. The Depression's impact on Germany was particularly devastating. The German economy, already weakened by the reparations payments imposed by the Treaty of Versailles, was plunged into chaos. Unemployment skyrocketed, businesses collapsed, and millions were left struggling to survive. The Weimar Republic, Germany's fragile democratic government, proved unable to cope with the crisis, leading to widespread disillusionment and a loss of faith in democratic institutions. In this environment of economic despair and political instability, extremist ideologies, particularly Nazism, found fertile ground. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party exploited the widespread discontent, promising economic recovery, national rejuvenation, and a return to German greatness. Hitler's message of hatred and scapegoating, blaming Jews, communists, and other minority groups for Germany's woes, resonated with a population desperate for answers and a way out of the crisis. As the Depression deepened, support for the Nazi Party surged, culminating in Hitler's appointment as Chancellor of Germany in 1933. The Great Depression's impact extended far beyond Germany. In Italy, Benito Mussolini and his fascist party had already seized power in 1922, exploiting economic hardship and social unrest to establish an authoritarian regime. The Depression further strengthened Mussolini's grip on power, as he promised to restore Italy's former glory through aggressive nationalism, militarism, and imperial expansion. In Japan, the Depression led to a surge in nationalist sentiment and support for militaristic solutions to the country's economic woes. The Japanese military, increasingly influential in the government, embarked on a path of aggressive expansionism, seeking to secure resources and establish dominance in Asia. The Great Depression, a global crisis of unprecedented scale, created conditions that made war more likely. It fueled economic nationalism, undermined democratic institutions, and created opportunities for extremist ideologies to flourish. The Depression's legacy would be felt for decades to come, shaping the course of the 20th century and casting a long shadow over the world. As the war progressed, the Axis powers focused their efforts on expanding eastward. This strategic move aimed to secure vital resources and gain territorial advantage. The Eastern Front became a critical battleground, with both sides enduring harsh conditions and fierce combat. The vast expanses of Eastern Europe and the Soviet Union presented unique challenges, from brutal winters to rugged terrain. Yet, despite these obstacles, the pursuit of dominance drove relentless campaigns. The impact of these eastern battles would shape the course of the war and leave a lasting mark on history. In the years leading up to World War II, various efforts were made to maintain peace. Diplomatic negotiations and treaties were signed with the hope of avoiding another devastating conflict. However, these attempts, while well-intentioned, ultimately failed. The aggressive ambitions of certain nations could not be contained by mere words on paper. As tensions escalated, the world slowly edged closer to war. The invasion of Poland by Nazi Germany on September 1st, 1939, marked the beginning of World War II. This bold and aggressive move shattered the fragile peace in Europe. The subsequent declarations of war by Britain and France signaled the start of a global conflict that would engulf nations far and wide. It was a moment that changed the course of history forever. World War II was characterized by unprecedented levels of destruction and loss of life. Battles raged across continents, from the beaches of Normandy to the islands of the Pacific. Entire cities were reduced to rubble, and millions of lives were lost. The war saw the use of advanced weaponry and tactics, leading to a scale of devastation that the world had never seen before. The human cost was immense, and the scars left by the conflict are still felt to this day. As we reflect on the events of World War II, it is crucial to remember the lessons it taught us. The importance of diplomacy, the dangers of unchecked aggression, and the need for international cooperation are all vital takeaways. By understanding the past, we can strive to create a more peaceful and just world for future generations. The legacy of World War II serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of war and the enduring value of peace. Subscribe to Historical Life Journey for more insightful content on history.